Hey guys, we're back. The Fintastic for our second episode. Two. Uh, Here with
Peace.
our regular team: Nick Schwartz, Jose Martinez, Jeff Brown, the always late, and of course me, Tony Castanera. Um, I'm in a good mood, even though I shouldn't be, because that game sucked. Uh, um, it's you know, people say, well, we're gonna do a debrief. This is more like yep, this team makes me drink. This is more like an autopsy. What went right?
Yeah.
I don't think anything did. um well, let's just start off the offense. Nick, what do you think?
The offense. Honestly, I don't know what was going on. I felt like something was wrong with Tua from the start of the game. They weren't running the offense we ran week one, all of last season. It seemed like we went back to the offense we ran when we had Ryan Tannehill and company. A lot of screens, a lot of those short 5 yard dump passes. They never really went down the field. It was a completely different script on a short week. And when you factor in the way the offensive line played, it was a disaster.
It was, yeah. Jeff's like leaning in. He's got something to say.
What do you got, Jeff?
I agree that we ran a vanilla offense. We we didn't have our starting running back, Mostert, and I thought that maybe Jeff Wilson Jr. would get the nod as far as being the main guy. And they're trying to run Achan up the middle. You know, he's a speedster. He's a guy that gets to the corner, and they're trying to run him up between the tackles, and it just wasn't working. And they just stuck with it through the whole game. I thought maybe they would,
If there's only one upside to the offense, it was Achan. Look, he got 96 yards on 22 carries. He also got 69 yards on passes, scored the only touchdown. He was the only guy in the offense who played right, who played well. Jose,
but consistently they were shutting the running game down. We were getting shut down on like short yardage plays. We couldn't get anything.
Yeah.
The reason why he got the 100 yards was because he got so many carries. He got 22 carries. He can't get 100 yards of 22 carries, then you might as well retire.
Jose?
It was a constant running game. There was I don't even remember Waddle or Tyreek. They were totally removed from the game. It seemed like there was no game plan for those guys.
Well,
and even we came out of the halftime, we still didn't have a plan to get the ball into Tyreek's hand or Waddle's hands. And if you're not getting that ball into those two guys' hands, the running game isn't opening up, right? I think this offense goes, you open up the running game with the passing game, and there was, and I'm with Nick. Something was wrong with Tua right off the bat. He threw two interceptions right off the bat, and then after that, it was just like something just wasn't right.
Well, I look at it as Buffalo. Buffalo realized, listen, we're going to take away Tyreek Hill. We're going to take away Waddle. They were just on them. I mean, they were double covered, both of them, just took away that, beat us with something else, and the Dolphins couldn't beat them with something else.
Yep.
All right.
Silver lining, though, we actually got the tight end involved in that game. So he actually started making some catches.
Okay, let's see what your tight end could do, and he scored 10 points.
The choices that were being made by Tua with some of these passes was just not good.
And on the defensive side, Jeff.
Well, I want to go back to the interceptions with Tua. The first two interceptions were not his fault. First interception was deflected off the shoulder of his receiver. Okay. The second interception was the guy ran the wrong route. This offense is run to a spot on the field and the ball's there. The ball was there, but the receiver wasn't the receiver. So the first two interceptions, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Now the third interception was his fault. He was trying to force the ball. They were way behind, and he was trying to force it in there. So I give him credit for one interception. The first two really was not his fault. Now we'll go to the defense, like Tony said. The defense, we've got this vanilla bend don't break defense. We used to have a jailbreak defense where we would blitz on every play. We dictated to the offense, what they were going to have to do. Now we just sit back and wait, and that's a losing formula. Now, granted, there's 4 different defensive coordinators over the last 4 years. So every year we've had a different defensive coordinator, and it takes us about 6 or 7 games into the season until the defense starts playing up to what they should be playing. And it's probably just the getting used to the new system, the new coach, and things like that, knowing their responsibilities. So I kind of give the defense a little bit of a break there, because I thought that the offense was going to have to carry the defense through the first half of the season, and that's kind of what it is. But the offense hasn't stepped up at all.
I thought I left the universe there for a second as I flashed off. I look at Jose's face and he's like, oh, he's pissed.
No, I hold the same sentiment that Jeff has. It's still early for the defense. It's going to take them a while to kind of figure things out. There's been some flashes at linebacker, right? And we did have a couple of sacks, right? But honestly, I thought the defense got off easy. As soon as Tua got hurt, they started running the ball every play, and that game could have been easily into the 40s if they wanted to go after us. And it just seemed like they just decided mercy on the Dolphins. They've already lost their quarterback. We're just going to run the ball here, and guess what? We would get the ball back, and 3 downs later, we were kicking it right back to them. So it just, at the end, it just kind of turned into a we just want to get out of this building, right? And that's kind of what it turned into.
I look at the defense, and I see the Dolphins' defensive plan was basically, let's stop Josh Allen. Yeah. He's their guy, and they did. He only had 139 yards passing, and their Dolphins were like the way the Bills defense were like, they stopped Waddle and Tyreek. The Dolphins were like, okay, we're going to stop your guy, Josh Allen, beat him with everybody else. And guess what? They beat him with everybody else. All the other players stood up. You saw that, right, Nick?
Yeah, I saw that. James Cook kind of went wild on us. But the defense, I really feel like we need to figure out beyond Ramsey and Fuller who the guy is, because I really don't see Kohu as that guy.
Yeah. I know we're all going to talk about Tua now, but I'm just going to say this one thing. It's going to piss off a lot of people. The Dolphins lost because they were outcoached.
Yeah.
It was just, Mike McDaniels was lost in that game. I forgot the Bills coach's name, but he had the game plan on offense, on defense, everything. The game was over by the first quarter. We all knew it. We felt it. It was like, this is nothing's going to happen, so, and then of course the game really ended when Tua got hurt. Everything's been said, I'm on the side that's like, dude, you got your millions, retire, go live a good life. You don't want to be like one of these guys, NFL players in the 50s, or when they're in their 50s and 60s wanting to commit suicide or just doing something stupid, or worse, dementia. And you got your millions. You don't need any more. You can live a good life, man. Jose, speaking of that,
what? I definitely want to talk about that. So Tua this year signed that extension. And it was like 212 million with incentives like 221 million, something to that effect. And then like 167 million guaranteed. And this is really what's burning me up about this whole situation. Because listen, this is my Waddle jersey, right?
Mhm.
But I have 3 Tua Tagovailoa jerseys, right? I got a couple of Nikes and I got one white on white throwback. That's my throwback jersey. So I'm a big fan of Tua. I want to start right there, right? Okay. I love Tua. I don't know if I necessarily like the pick, but I jumped on the bandwagon the second, 2 seconds later, I was like, okay, that's our quarterback. He's Alabama quarterback. He's pretty decent. At least he was in college. Okay, I'm gonna ride this bandwagon. I don't usually buy jerseys, but I bought Tua's jersey. So he got this extension for 200 million. And then he got like 40 million right up front this year. Right. So he's already like 43 million already guaranteed. So he's still missing like 124 million dollars. He has this clause, this injury clause in his contract. And it basically says if he gets injured and we push him out, then he has rights to the $124 million. If we clear him and the doctors say, hey, he's good to go, right? And he quits, he forgoes the $124 million. So I think he's got $43 million, but this is the kind of player that has been playing football all his life. He's looking for the big payday. He's looking for what everybody's always calling generational wealth. $124 million is serious generational help. Tua Tagovailoa, the Tua Tagovailoas are never going to have to work ever again, right? If he does that right. So he's set up his generations going forward, but he has to quit in order to,
lose the money.
Yeah, where's the money, right? So I think, look, I watched Tua and I had my binoculars and I was watching him and I saw his hands and I knew immediately, I was like, this guy's gone for the next few weeks, if not gone forever. I thought he was gone forever. I was like, there's no way he's going to retire after, a couple days from now. He's going to retire. And then a couple days later, he said, you know what? I'm going forward. And the reason why is for $124 million. And I'm really upset at the what is the NFL doing and what are the Miami Dolphins doing? They know obviously this guy, anytime he gets dinged, we're going to lose him for four games at the very minimum. They're going to put him on IR. And they're really kind of waiting for him to quit. And then he's not going to quit. Right. So because he wants the 124 million guarantee, he wants another payout at the beginning of next year. So I think the way they've written the contract kind of puts Tua between him and a hard, I don't even know how that saying goes, but it puts him in an awkward situation. And it's a bad situation, for Tua and for the Miami Dolphins, because Tua's not going to quit. Right. And the Miami Dolphins need a quarterback that's reliable and durable and, that can play. And that isn't necessarily going to get, I'm gonna be honest with you. That didn't seem like the kind of play, that didn't seem like the kind of tackle that warranted that kind of concussion. Right. So I thought what's Hamlin, right? I thought Hamlin was kind of easy on him. Right. He could have really rocked him. He's like, look, I don't want to kill this guy because I know how it is. Right. And he just kind of like cradled him and put him on the ground and he still had the concussion. So at the end of the day, Tua's got to go.
Nick, I see your eyes rolling.
Yeah. He has got to go. And maybe we just kind of restructure something from a NFL perspective. Maybe give him another 50 million and pat him on the back and usher him out.
Nick, you're like
the hit.
Let's hear it.
The problem is Tua's going into his chest with the crown of his helmet. The very top of his head is just crunching into his chest. Now, it's not a hard hit. It wasn't a hard hit. But I think the fact that he's already had how many concussions, he's got
this is the fourth we know of.
Yes, that we know of.
Yeah.
Along with the ones that
they didn't count.
Yeah. Sometimes you get a concussion, you don't even know you got one.
Yeah. Yes. The one where he wobbled,
that
was
I don't know why he went in the way he went in. He should have just slid in that situation. That was 2 years ago, Tua running the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was.
I mean, he went into that with his eyes closed, right? I mean,
he was hoping for the best.
It seemed to me like he put his head down, closed his eyes, and hope for the best. He's got to look. What are you doing, man? Just got to keep an eye on what you're doing, and then glance off the guy. Something, I don't know. Use some of that judo, but at the end of the day, you cannot close your eyes and just.
And they say the NFL doesn't have a sense of humor. The guy who tackled him, who probably might have ended Tua's career, was the guy who last year died on the football field.
But did you?
It's like
die?
I think the universe is trying to send these people a message. Okay.
Right.
Well, the latest news that just came out, I don't know if you guys saw it, but Tua is on injured reserve, but he can come back after week 8.
Yeah, 4 weeks off. You see, that's when I see that, because at first they weren't going to put him on IR. There's been it's been since last Thursday, the game and everything. This is what I think is going on. Okay. I think that the Dolphins don't want to bring him back, but they don't want to, because they don't want to pay him that kind of big money.
124 million.
But also the Dolphins don't want to put him back on the field and have him go vegetable in front of a national TV audience either. Or get hurt. I mean, just, get hurt really bad, even more so, because it already looks bad for the NFL and they already have enough with the lawsuits, the CTE and all that stuff like that. I think by putting him in IR, they're going, okay, we got 4 weeks now. We're sitting down. We're going to negotiate with Tua. Okay, you're not going to get the 100-something million. Tua says, I want the whole 100-something. And the Dolphins are probably saying, we'll give you 20 extra. And they're going to go back and forth. And they got 4 weeks to do this out. And I will not be surprised if Tua sometime during this IR just goes, hey, guys, I thought it over, talked with my wife and everything. I'm leaving the NFL. Right. And they're going to just write him a nice check. Here you go away. I can't believe his family is saying keep playing. I can't believe his wife. He's got kids. I can't believe his wife saying keep playing. The guy's already made millions before this contract even came in. So, the money is all relative. He's probably worth. Let's be honest. He's probably worth right now around $50 million. If you can't live a good life of $50 million,
I think they're
retire. Take a few months off, and he's a nice guy. He's the type of guy. Yeah, I'll go to a barbecue with the guy or something. He seems like a genuinely nice guy. I'm sure he'd be great in the NFL booth calling a game as a color guy or something like that. Better than Brady. Brady's terrible.
So what you guys are saying is we're just going to give up on this season right now.
Whoa,
no,
Cowboy!
Did you see the game? Did you see the game?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or do we give him a chance to come back and save the season?
Honestly, I say what season? If you don't beat the Bills, you're just the season's over.
The Bills have had our number. Just because Tua got hurt wasn't the reason.
Yeah.
The Bills, we've struggled against the Bills, but we dominate against the rest of the NFL. So we can pull out this season if we can have a placeholder there and Skylar Thompson that can go win us a few games and then give Tua a chance to come back and see what he can do. That's kind of where I'm at. If he doesn't want to retire, let him play. If he wants to, if he goes, what vegetable? You said vegetable. I mean, what is he, a zucchini? What will he be? Won't be a tomato. Tomato's a fruit.
I'm gonna just ask all three of you guys the same question. Week 1, they at home, they barely squeaked by beating a mediocre Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Okay. The Bills beat the crap out of them. And up until that moment, before going up to the play before Tua got hurt, Did that Dolphin team look like a team that's going to carry into the playoffs and win some playoff games? Okay. They've gotten in as a wild card the last couple of years and got wiped out in the first round. They sneak in. Okay. Does this, I'm not talking Super Bowl. Forget that. I'm talking about maybe win a wild card game. Maybe, get a little bit deeper to play. Does this team look like that right now?
You know what? I'm with Jeff. Sean McDermott and the Bills, especially when they got Josh Allen, all of a sudden had our number. I don't know what it is with Josh Allen, right? But even when Josh Allen wasn't that good, he was beating the Dolphins, right? Pretty regularly. I don't think he's lost to the Dolphins but one time in his career. So
the Bills are a good team. The Bills are a good team. Okay?
No way. I mean, they weren't that great at the beginning, but Josh Allen had our number. I don't know if he has our playbook. I don't know what it is, right? But at the end of the day, I'm not at this point. I'm not willing to throw our season out because because we got beat by our arch nemesis, which we know at this point. This team is not it against the Bills. And we were kind of hoping that we would gain some ground on the Buffalo Bills, but it doesn't seem like that happened. And again, I'm telling you, that should have been like 42-0 or 42 to,
oh yeah,
it could have been easily into the 40s, but once Tua went down, they started, the mafia started raising money. Right.
Yeah.
By the way, shout out to the mafia for raising money for Tua.
He didn't have enough money.
Yeah, they don't have enough.
Okay, Nick, what do you think? Am I full of crap?
Through 2 games, it looks like it's the 9-8 Miami Dolphins that just missed the playoffs, or they sneak in and then their first round bounce, they're out. But I think we got to give Skyler a chance. We have winnable games coming up on the schedule. Seahawks a little tough over there in Seattle, but the next few games after that, they're all winnable games.
If there's one good thing, Skylar Thompson has some extra time to get ready. Yeah. Practicing with the first team. Jeff shaking his head.
No.
The thing about backup quarterbacks is when your starting quarterback gets hurt and they come in the middle of the game, they look great. But when they have a whole week to prepare and they get nervous before the game, they have all this time to think about it, they come out and stink up the place. So I don't really have much hope for Skylar Thompson to come out and do anything, especially against Seattle. It's going to take him a week or two at least. So I don't have much hopes of beating Seattle this week, but I think we can win on Monday night. But I think we picked up what's his name, Huntley, from the Ravens practice squad, and I've been looking at video of this guy, and he looks pretty good. I mean, I feel right now he's better than Skylar Thompson, and depending on how fast he can pick up the playbook, pick up that offense. And it's basically, you got Tyreek Hill and you got Waddle. Everybody else there sucks. I look back at Tua's injury, and 2 plays before he got injured, he put the ball right on the tight end's hand, crossing the middle into the end zone for a touchdown, and the guy dropped it. If he would have pulled that ball in and that would have been a touchdown, the whole course of the game could have shifted. We would have only been down 2 scores and had momentum at that point. And you saw where Tua got hurt. It was right in front of us. He was right around the 5-yard line. We were driving to score right there. And if he would have slid, I have no doubt we would have scored a touchdown the next couple plays, and then it would have put us right back in that game. So, just that one play of him getting hurt, and then the 2 plays before that, the guy dropping the sure touchdown pass. It's like we only have 2 receivers. Everybody else sucks.
Yeah.
All I see is drop balls. If you don't throw it to Tyreek or Waddle, then the ball's going to be dropped. So the defense is not impressed with any of the other receivers. They got 2 receivers to cover, and everybody else, just let them go open. They can't catch it.
And Jeff, you know what? In that use case where they're double teaming the wideouts, and they got one guy deep, the tight end should be open all day.
Yeah, he was, and he threw it to him, and he just drops it.
The tight end should be destroying the defense all day long until they finally give up, right? And by the way, can we get rid of Greer or somebody that has put some value into an offensive line? We are here because our offensive line sucks. Nick, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, but I'm going to say it. We miss Gesicki. I know a lot of people won't like that, but he was a pass-catching tight end. Couldn't block. Fine. Put him in there in passing situations. Catches the ball. That's it.
He would have destroyed the Buffalo Bills last weekend.
Yeah.
I miss Van Ginkel. I miss Van Ginkel just because I like saying his name.
Me too.
He does look like a Viking, though. I will say, that hair.
That's true. That's true.
But when are we gonna get the big beef? We need some beef. The beef. Right? When are we gonna get some beef, man?
Say it. Come on.
Where's the beef, man? I mean, when are we gonna get the beef? When is this guy gonna learn? I mean, Tua's I've been hurt. I don't know how many seasons now, right? And
he was hurt in Alabama.
He was hurt. He was, Alabama was some stupid stuff. But look, and you know what? He usually gets hurt when he's stupid. But at the end of the day, if we had an offensive line that was worth anything, we wouldn't be in this situation.
The right side. It's the right side of the line.
Yeah.
Well, guys, we got Seattle next week. That's always a tough game, flying all the way across the country to Seattle. How do you think it's going to go? Nick, what do you think is going to happen up there?
Well, I'm going to stick with my Dolphins. They're going to win the game, but it's going to come down to the defense. And I'm figuring this is a 1-score game, 3-point victory.
Jose?
28-21 Miami. We're going to surprise them. They have no idea what's coming. They think we got nothing, right? So we're going to surprise them.
Online gambling sportbook is legal now, so you can
lose a lot of money there.
You can make some big
money
bucks
where
there.
my mouth is, right?
Jeff,
parlay going.
What do you say?
I just don't have any confidence that Skylar Thompson can come in with 1 week's work with this offense, with the starter, and with only 2 receivers and nobody else can catch the ball. And he just doesn't have the it factor that we're looking for. I think that his starting job is going to be in jeopardy after this game, and I think we may have trouble with the next few games. And that's why I hope that Tua does come back and he can lead us into the playoffs, and this will just be a distant bad memory like the last time, because he went through the entire season last year without an injury, led us into the playoffs, but like you said, without home playoff games, which I'm kind of thinking we're not going to have to come up with playoff game money now, but I was kind of hoping that I would have to find some playoff game money.
Work overtime, right?
Yeah, work some overtime and get those playoff games. But how long has it been since we've had a home playoff game? So without the home playoff game,
everybody's like,
yeah. And so the question is, do we tank at this point? Do we just give up on the season? Because if we want to go get the University of Miami quarterback in the draft, we're gonna have to lose some games.
I'm not saying tank, but man, there's some good quarterbacks out there this year coming out in the NCAA. My pick this game, if Mosert's back, I think you're going to see the Dolphins just running the ball, just trying to pound the ball with Mosert and Achane. Thompson's not going to have to win the game with his arm. He's just going to have to little quick outs.
Play action.
Hopefully, they're trying to get the tight end will learn how to catch a ball, and it's going to be closer than a lot of people think. I think it's going to come down to a field goal near the end, and it's going to be a low-scoring game because Seattle's not really a big scoring team either. So I can see a 20-17. I'll be a homer. I'll say Miami wins 20-17, but it's going to be a low-scoring game.
Wait a second. Did Jeff pick the Dolphins to win?
No, I did not.
He's picking them to lose.
Okay. What was the score, Jeff?
I didn't come up with a score, but I think somewhere like Tony said, it's going to be a low-scoring game.
That's what messed me up.
Seattle's got the loudest stadium. They've got the 12th man, and it's incredibly hard to go into Seattle and win a game. And with the amount of controversy and things that have happened with the Dolphins over the past 2 weeks, I think it's just too much for them to overcome right now. I'm not saying that the season's over. I'm just saying that this game right now is going to be incredibly hard to win, and I just don't see it. Well, I'll give you a score of 21-14.
If they win this game, it'll be a catalyst.
No, I hope I'm wrong. I really do hope I'm wrong because I'm a homer too. But I just have to look at the facts that we've got 2 hurt offensive linemen. We've got a quarterback on IR. And a defense that's struggling to learn a new system. All those things to me, I mean, I hope, like I said, I hope I'm wrong, but I don't have a good feeling about it.
Well, we're all tied 0-1 for our picks from last week. Yeah. So next week it'll be a sort of a tiebreaker. One of us is going to be 3-1. It's going to be we're either
3 of us are going to be right, or one.
3 of us are going to be right, or 3 of us are going to be wrong.
I got one thing.
And I know you guys hate it when I'm right all the time.
All right, guys, it's been a great show. Thanks, Nick. Thanks.
Can I give you one more thing?
Okay.
One more thing.
Skylar Thompson. Don't sleep on him. 2 years ago in the playoffs, he almost beat the Bills.
That's right.
Took him to the wire.
That's right.
Don't sleep on him.
In the snow.
Yeah. Like I said, I hope I'm wrong. And I just want to say to Tua to get well soon. I hope you have a complete recovery and come back and lead us to the playoffs. And we just forget about all this ever happened.
All right, guys. We'll see you next week. Go Fins.